I'd like to provide a short historical context and a summary of where we are, what this change means for us, and the range of perspectives it opens. As many of you know, I'm an experimental linguist with 35 years of experience conducting research on multilingualism and language learning over the lifespan, in collaboration with colleagues in Edinburgh and around the world. Why should we care about multilingualism? Bilingualism and multilingualism in any languages are important for individuals and for societies for many reasons. A multilingual person is not only someone who can communicate with more people, but also someone who tends to have an open mind towards other cultures and can understand cultural diversity. This is very important in today's increasingly diverse societies, also as a mental weapon to fight increasing isolationism and xenophobia. Importantly, multilingualism also helps to maintain linguistic diversity. Languages are disappearing around the globe at a very fast rate. The survival of many of these languages depends on intergenerational transmission, which means parents speaking the language to their children, often in a situation of bilingualism with the majority language. Research also shows that despite many old and some new misconceptions, children who grow up with two languages or learn another language in a supportive environment, and adults who learn a second language later in life, can derive multiple benefits for their bilingualism in terms of language awareness, understanding other people's perspectives, dealing with complex situations. It's true that the roads toward multilingual upbringing and multilingual education can be bumpy and present challenges, but the better we understand these challenges, the better we can address them. These are all excellent reasons to celebrate multilingualism in all languages, both spoken and signed, as a social and cognitive resource. It's the fact of having more than one language that matters, regardless of which languages. This should be an incentive for learning languages at school, for speakers of minority languages to continue to use their language, for migrant families to continue to speak their language at home, with an awareness that this is beneficial for their children's linguistic and social integration. More generally, it should be an incentive to regard multilingualism in any languages as an investment for life that can enrich countries and their citizens. This is what emerges from research, but do people know? That's why I've always supported the idea that research shouldn't be confined to lecture theaters and laboratories, but should be known and shared by people in society. And that's why I established Bilingualism Matters in September 2008 as a local service for parents and teachers focused on the facts, benefits, and challenges of child bilingualism. Both as a researcher and as a parent of bilingual children, I was aware of the lack of information and of the many misconceptions on bilingualism in the community. Initially, and for several years, Bilingualism Matters operated as an active group of volunteers, including myself. Pretty soon, it started to attract more and more interest from other countries and other sectors of society. Then, it officially became a center at the University of Edinburgh in 2014. For this, I would like to thank the then Principal and Vice Chancellor of the University, Tim O'Shea, for all his support at the time, and also Madeleine Beveridge, Christy Brewster, and Katarzyna Psybyczyn, who were employed and have been employed in the center for their excellent work since then. Now, 8 years later, this is where we are. Bilingualism Matters has an international network of 30 branches in Canada, China, Croatia, France, Germany, Israel, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Slovenia, Spain, United States, and is about to open 3 more in Australia, Italy, and US. Bilingualism Matters has numerous partnerships and outreach projects in the public sector where it collaborates with a wide range of partners, including policymakers, education authorities, and health professionals. I would like to name all the organizations that have collaborated with us and supported us over the years, and I know that many representatives are here in the audience today, but this would probably take up the rest of my allocated time. So let me just express my gratitude to them and say ad maiora, or to bigger and greater things, as they used to say in Latin. I look forward to many future projects together. Bilingualism Matters also has an increasing presence in the private sector, and for this I would like to thank Andrew Hill of the Financial Times and Bernadette Holmes of the Chartered Institute of Linguists for sharing their networks and advice with us. Bilingualism Matters regularly takes part in science festivals, general audience language shows, and is featured in the media. Bilingualism Matters is the official dissemination and public impact channel in several European-funded and UK-funded research projects on different aspects of bilingualism. Moreover, Bilingualism Matters provides many students and visiting researchers with training and volunteering opportunities, which directly support academic skills in teaching and research and are valued by potential employers. I'm grateful to all our past and present volunteers for being so engaged and motivated. Becoming an independent nonprofit organization will allow us to handle this growth more efficiently. It would allow us to develop many more synergies within our growing international network, to establish new partnerships with non-academic organizations in both the public and the private sectors, and to welcome affiliations from private individuals. We will be generating more resources through grants, partnerships, consultancies, philanthropy, revenue, to allow Bilingualism Matters to build on its success and promote new and better initiatives to invest in multilingualism. We will maintain a privileged relationship with Edinburgh and with the Bilingualism Matters at Edinburgh branch, and with our 7 program directors in Edinburgh, because Edinburgh has been the cradle and the inspiring locus of our activities for 14 years. What do we envisage for the future? As our joint work with UNESCO shows, this is a crucial time to place languages and linguistic diversity at the core of education, and to regard multilingualism as a new kind of global literacy. This means valuing language education as a national need, similar to education in maths and English. Over half of the world's population is multilingual, and yet it is largely monolingual norms, standards, and attitudes that define education, research, and how societies are organized. Preference is generally given to global languages at the expense of minoritized, indigenous, and heritage languages. Across the world, languages face different challenges, some shared universally, others specific to particular countries and regions. Many societies face internal as well as international migration, with challenges around how to embrace and address the increased linguistic and cultural diversity that comes with it. Language is also a critical aspect of social justice, as has emerged in a starkly obvious way in the past 2 years. Communities of heritage, immigrant, and refugee populations have been overwhelmingly overlooked and poorly serviced all over the world in the large-scale COVID efforts to test, diagnose, and vaccinate. That's why it's more important than ever for societies and organizations to join forces, to increase capacity for accessible language education, and to normalize multilingualism and language learning. And that will be the main focus of our mission as a social enterprise. We are joining forces across disciplinary boundaries, because bilingualism is not an either-or dimension, but a continuum affected by many social, linguistic, cognitive variables. Understanding how these variables interact requires integrating research approaches from different fields. And we're joining forces across societal sectors, because multilingualism can't become the new normal without the involvement of all citizens, families, education and health professionals, and governments. Before I conclude, I wish to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Katarzyna Psybyczyn, a co-director in this new venture. Without her vision, wisdom, and dedication, we wouldn't be where we are. The new venture will also benefit from the contribution of Professor Tanja Rinke, the leader of one of our German branches, as a new co-director. And I wish to thank all of you again for your interest and the support that you've given us until now, and that you'll be able to give us in the future. Thank you.